the next presentation is about a system that has a very nice name. It's called ELISSE. And it means EMAG, Listening and Semantic Search Engine. And it is a search experience that responds in a relevant and immediate manner. And it is built on Apache Solr. Did you hear about this? Yeah? One? Anybody who work with Apache Solr? Oh, multiple people. Okay, thank you. So we are here about this presentation from two senior, Ovidiu Mihalcea, who is a passionate and digital savvy web developer with a special interest for text retrieval and recommender systems. And we will hear also about the same system from Mihai Stanculescu, who is targeting and search manager. And he's software engineer and online evangelist specialized in web development, project management, and challenging the status quo. So, Mihai? And
hello, everybody. So, there is this saying I like very much. To a worm in horseradish, the world is horseradish. And for those of you that don't know, horseradish means hran, actually, in Romanian. But there are many interpretations to this saying, and the most popular one is that, you know, the worm is ignorant. He doesn't see anything else but the horseradish. But I say, what if the worm is not actually ignorant, and it is just very focused on the radish? Well, about a year ago, ELISSE, which, as you heard, is an acronym for EMAG Listing and Semantic Search Engine, became my horseradish. And I was the worm in it. And I needed to be so in order for us to achieve our objective. And our objective was an e-commerce search experience that was better than the standard. You know, that doesn't sound like much. I mean, what kind of an objective is that? But consider that in this case, the standard is Google. This is the standard for searching. This is what people are expecting, even on e-commerce search. And just consider how good Google is. I mean, we use it for spell checking on a daily basis, at least I use it. We use it for very broad and generic searches and semantic searches. And sometimes we use it just to see if things exist, like this one. This is Shakespeare wearing cool sunglasses, and Google Images has you covered. But you might say, well, of course, these are challenges, but who goes to an e-commerce website to spell check? Well, you might be surprised. These are just a few of the ways people search for Ovidiu, the electronics brand, on EMAG. These are actual searches. And consider that in Romanian, typo correction is a special challenge because we are a phonetic language and people tend to write things as they sound. And these are just some examples of how people search for things on EMAG. Yeah, so not always easy to correct those. And also consider that there are a lot of searches that are not so intuitive, like these ones. This is a studio for rent in Turda, small plasma, talking hamster, pig guts, and the cheapest Samsung phones for 1 million. These are actual searches on EMAG. Also, you can consider that the catalog structure is not always intuitive. These are some examples of categories where you might find headphones on EMAG. Also, the way the users search for things, the actual keyword may not be found in the product attributes like the title or description, but still people expect to find it. And sometimes the accessories for a product are better optimized in terms of text relevance than the actual product, and you have to decide which one to show first. So how do you begin to tackle all these challenges? Well, there is another saying I like, and it goes something like this. If you want to build a ship, you shouldn't just gather the people and assign the tasks. You should teach them to long for the endless openness of the sea. Very nice, right? Fortunately for me, I didn't have to teach anybody anything, because on the technical side of the radish, I found another worm, and it is the guy who's going to speak next, It's Ovidiu, senior software developer at EMAG. And after that, some other worms followed. And now I'll let Ovidiu tell you all about the steps we have taken towards our objective. And our objective, again, is an e-commerce search better than the standard. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ovidiu, and today I'm going to talk to you about what we did to improve the search engine and search relevance at EMAG. Well, our search engine, as Mihai told you, is named ELISSE, and stands for EMAG Listing and Semantic Search Engine. And it is built, it is powered by Apache Solr, and it's an open source platform. It's really fast. And it features an XML and JSON API. Sorry. Thank you. It features an XML and JSON API. It has faceted search and filtering. It features caching and replication and the basic web administration interface. So how do we use Solr at EMAG? Well, we have a master Solr server which indexes the products from two RabbitMQ queues, one for product specifications and one for I'm sorry, it's off. The TV is off. I'm really sorry. It went into standby. Okay, I'll try this. And also we have 3 or more, depending on the traffic, slave servers, which have an HA proxy in front of them, which serve the user queries. Well, I'm going to show you how ELISSE can help Grandma Elsa find her first smartphone online. Well, you're going to ask, who is Grandma Elsa? Well, she's a nice old lady, famous for her delicious cupcakes. And she doesn't really know how to search for a smartphone online. And I'm going to tell you how ELISSE can help her find it in 6 easy steps. The first step would be to let your users do the hard work and crowdsource your results. For example, when Grandma Elsa remembers her grandson's phone had an apple on it, she goes to our search bar and searches for Apple, and she sees these visual filters generated by click scoring. Click scoring is the method of using previous click data from past searches to prefer those products that were clicked for future searches. Another example would be this one, when Jack, let's say Grandma Elsa's eldest grandson, searches for headphones. And this is the order in which we show the products. And it is based not only on the text relevance, but also on the click scoring data. We at EMAG use click data from the previous 30 days, but you can use any period of time that suits your needs based on train changes and to make sure that you have enough relevant data to build the click scoring upon. Because not always when the client clicks on a product in the search results, it's the most relevant one. They can click on anything that reminds them of another cool feature, or they can click on something even if they don't find what they need because it reminds them of some other product or just about anything. At the moment, we use category-based click scoring, in which we prefer categories, we boost categories, and we use this using the boost parameter in Solr. but we are working on implementing also along category-based click scoring, also a product-based click scoring. The next step would be to help your users when they are in need. As you could see from our previous step, Grandma Elsa is not really a tech person, and unfortunately typos are quite frequent. And we should try to help her. And for this, we built a custom dictionary of suggestions and corrections in ELISSE on top of Solar's predefined spell check functionality. And I think it's really important to mention here that you should log everything about your search engine, your user queries, your search results, the products people click on, because they will come really handy when you try to improve and you adapt your search engine for your customers. The next step is deciding what matters most. And what I mean by that is that your fields are board equal to your search engine. You have to specify what fields to search and with what importance. Grandma Elsa was talking to her grandson, and he kept talking on and on about Siri and Google Now and Cortana, and Grandma was really interested about the subject, and she decided to search for iPhones with Siri. And we have to make sure that we serve her iPhones that have this little person inside, and not some artificial intelligence book that mentions iPhone Siri in the description. And we implemented this using the query fields parameter in Solar, in which we specified that a match in the brand name is the most important, a match in the title is also important, and a match in the description is the least important part. Another cool thing you can do is boost important products. Let's say you have a group of 20, 30 phones with really similar specs, but with different colors or different capacities. And these will have really similar or identical scores for generic queries. Let's say you search for an iPhone. You have 20, 30 iPhones which have the same score. And you can boost important ones based on the number of purchases, the most viewed product, or really any other metric that suits your needs and your users' needs. The next step would be to try to understand meta keywords. As Bill Gates once said in a conversation, the future of search is verbs. And even if this is not yet the standard for an e-commerce website, I think we should set this as our goal, because users, as Mihai told us, do not distinguish between Google's search bar and your search bar. For example, Grandma Elsa found her smartphone she wanted, but she doesn't quite trust delivery services. So she goes to the search bar and searches for delivery services, and we have to respond to that query also. And we at EMAG try to respond accordingly to things like cheap phones, refurbished laptops, expensive wines, delivery costs, travel insurance, and so on. Because nowadays people don't just search for products on an e-commerce site, they search for features, benefits, really they start pouring their thoughts into the search bar. The next step, we try to go beyond the specs. Grandma Elsa remembers her son's birthday is coming up, and because boys don't grow up, they just buy more expensive toys, she wants to buy him a gadget. But what exactly is a gadget? We just know we sell quadcopters, smartwatches, intelligent light bulbs, and all sorts of crazy things. But the specs don't say anything about them being a gadget. So for this, we built a customizable product labeling mechanism with which we apply labels to a group of products. For example, we say the quadcopters in that category from that brand are gadget, or for example, that box of tea and those boxes of tea can be used as a gift. The last step but not the least important, actually one of the most important parts, is to try to filter out the noise. Grandma Elsa also decides she wants to buy a case for her iPhone because she's afraid she might drop it and break it. And this is where our step detection algorithm comes into play. And what it does is that it collapses less relevant categories so that the user can focus on really what is the most important for his query. For example, a search for iPhone cases can retrieve really hundreds, thousands of results in 20, 30 categories, but we have just one really relevant category, which is phone cases. And if we detect that only one category is important, we can actually let the user filter in that category by category-specific filters, like, let's say, case color, case type, or phone type, without them being necessary to make another click to filter in that category. Another important feature are product families. And this was a really important feature for our fashion release, because let's say you have a clothing a dress which has 4 colors and 10 sizes for each color. And we don't really want to show 40 products for the same dress with 4 colors. We don't want to show all the sizes. And we chose to collapse those results, and we built a custom field, family details, and we specified to Solar that it should group based upon that field. And we can choose to collapse a product family to a single product, or to collapse only on a single characteristic, that is, show only the colors, show only the sizes, and let the user filter on the product details page what he really wants, the size and all the characteristics. Well, I hope I've convinced you that search relevance really matters, and you shouldn't drive your customers away with your bad search results. Don't show them laptops when they're searching for keyboards. Don't show them really expensive printers when they're just searching for a generic term like printer, because we're not as rich as Bill Gates. And try to understand and help your users, and try to resolve as many typos as you can. And you can start this by solving your first 100, 200, 300 most popular typos, so that you don't feel you're doing brain surgery blindfolded, because spell checking can be a complex process. Finally, serve your users relevant results, and they'll fall in love with your search engine and your brand, and surely they'll come back to your website and use it with pleasure. Oh, I almost forgot. What about Grandma Elsa? Well, she found her smartphone online, and she's really happy about it. She uses it to search for recipes, and she even has now an Instagram and Facebook page on which she shows off her delicious cupcakes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ovidiu.
You can find me and Mihai in the fun zone by EMAG for future explanations or questions. Thank you.
Thank you.